Okay, hello everyone. I think we can start because I think we have all the attendees for now. So I'm Maya Stomachki. I will have a presentation, join you after our coordinator Ali Turker shares his welcome and explains a little bit more about the UDENE project and gives an overview. So Ali, please take over.
Thank you, Maya. I will share my screen. Okay. So welcome everyone. My name is Ali. I'm the coordinator of this project on behalf of vGlobal Italy. It's a multinational company with offices in Turkey, all Balkan countries, Italy, Netherlands. And in this project, vGlobal Italy is the coordinator. And I will discuss with you the summary of this project, and then we will follow this agenda where Maya will summarize the open calls. Then we will have top university describing the tools we have in the UDENE project, and we will present shortly the two use cases besides the Serbian case, which we will cover in detail. And we will end with a question and answer session. Okay, so the UDENE project is a research and innovation project awarded from the Horizon Europe program, Copernicus International Partners Call. This one was sponsored by EU SPA. The Copernicus system, it's a set of middle Earth orbit satellites that are equipped with various sensors and cameras. They have been put in orbit in phases since 2012, and now there are about a dozen of them. And using the captures the data from those sensors, there are a number of services in the Copernicus program about climate change, about marine monitoring, and so on. And lately, a data sharing space called Copernicus Data Space Ecosystem has been linked to these sensor data from Copernicus satellites, constituting a huge opportunity for various needs. And in our case, we have picked urban development challenges. EU SPA is similar to European Space Agency, but focused on the applied side, applications. The UDENE project is considered to be a downstream application because we are using the data from the satellites to have applications on the land. The other way around is upstream. That was a different call. EU SPA, in this case, has used the facilities of the Horizon Europe, like the funding and tenders portal, to issue this call for the international partners. Now, Copernicus is, of course, owned by the European Union member states, but they do a number of agreements with, let's say, the African Union, Japan, Canada, and so this call was targeted for those. In our case, we have Tunis, which represents the African Union. We have Turkey, and we have Serbia. For each one, we have a dedicated use case in the context of the UDENE project. So what is this context? I prepared a small list of our objectives. Briefly, the project objective is to enable fast exploration of the natural occurrences of an urban development idea in Earth observation datasets across time and place. So that means if we can spot the idea implemented in another city, let's say in 2010, we are still able to detect. This is, as you can see, a bit ambitious, but we have some smart hacks to do this. And it starts with a data cube implementation to speed up the search. This data cube, we call UDENE data cube. We link it to the Copernicus data space ecosystem to keep our in situ, in other words, local data, so that we can run a number of models, models that correspond to our use cases, models created using scientific literature on the matter. Of course, we improve them. And these models are to represent the causal effects of an urban development idea. I will give you examples. The second objective, okay, is to make sure these models are good enough for the purpose. So they are estimating the impact of an urban development idea as reliably as possible. And to do that, we'll develop some sensitive analysis algorithms and apply them to results. Finally, we want to promote the international techniques. We want to promote the international partners for potential collaborations with member state companies and institutions. Also, present all the capacity in Europe, thanks to the Copernicus system, to these countries. For some reason, they are underused. So that's the third objective, more social networking objective. Okay, let's see our use cases very briefly. The Serbian use case is about air pollution due to a new set of bridges. So here, the urban development idea is two bridges to ease the traffic, actually. But as the intended outcome, here we use air pollution. We could have used the traffic rate as well, or another. The idea is with every use case, there must be an intended outcome specified as causally affected from the urban development idea. In this case, we will use Sentinel-5P pollutant emissions and ERA5 atmospheric quantities data. There are many other data sets as well, but these are representative, let's say. And in the Tunis case, we will check if a new linked park system indeed decreases the heat load in the city. You can understand from these examples, UDENE is positioned for evidence-based decision-making, especially for public services like urban development. And that's why you can imagine a number of end users, public officers who are responsible of urban development, city development is for one. And if this officer has an idea like a new linked park system, he or she can use UDENE to find evidence that this idea works for the intended outcome. In this case, decreasing the heat load. Or, as you will see in a minute in my example, detailed example, that this person, this public officer, may discover another idea which serves the same purpose, maybe even better. So that's what we call an inverse use case. Okay, and for the tools, yes, we used the Sentinel-2 and Landsat databases in terms of their land cover maps and vegetation monitoring data, and also the elevation data from Copernicus. Finally, the Turkish use case, it's a bit challenging. Earthquake economic loss. not changing due to a high-rise building district. So here the idea is um, a large site of high-rise buildings to be built in a district in Istanbul. But of course, Istanbul is a earthquake zone city. So whoever is trying to go for this idea must at least argue that it will not be affected by earthquake in terms of economic loss, which includes not only building damage, but also businesses that are affected from this, businesses that are due to these buildings that are affected. So that's why we use human settlement layer, building height atlas. These are briefly our use cases. And in this webinar, you will hear in more detail about the Serbian use case. So I will finally show how UDENE pulls out the trick of finding natural experiments, natural occurrences of an idea. The first step is, of course, to build a causal model. It starts with an idea and then an outcome, an intended outcome. This intended outcome is supposed to increase or decrease or remain the same based on the idea's intention. And we will also need to specify a number of input variables that would predict this intended outcome. Here, for instance, a high-rise building, building a high-rise district, a new ring road, a number of bridges, a new linked park, a synthetic lake in the city. All these are possible development ideas. And intended outcomes can be water use efficiency, air quality, heat load, some sustainability indicators, earthquake scenarios, and such. And input variables, okay, these are more technical, like land consumption, population growth, trace gas information, pollutant data, all that. When we built the causal model, as I said, so we used the scientific literature and whatever is the best model, state-of-the-art model, that this intended outcome can be predicted from the input variables. We picked that model. It can be a hierarchical multivariate model. It can be a structural equation. It can be a regression model if it's working good enough. And of course, before we use this model, we apply sensitivity analysis to make sure that it's causally related. Once we have the model, okay, we go to the step 2, where we sort the input variables into 4 groups. These groups are set by whether this input characterizes the area of interest, or this input is supposed to change if the concept is implemented. So that gives us 4 sets. What we do in step 3 is to use those that characterize the area of interest to find similar places in the world. This is just to decrease the search space to save up from the search time. This is one of the tricks we have. For instance, if the idea is a park system, then land cover, land use, population density, all characterize the area of interest, but among these, the land cover and land use is, of course, is supposed to change with the new park system if it's implemented, but the population density maybe won't be so much affected in that category. Once we limit the search space, we do the final step where we search the outliers in terms of those variables that are expected expected to change if the idea is implemented. And the outliers are detected based on the estimates of the intended outcome. So it may sound a bit complex, but if I can give an example, we find the outliers in terms of temperature-related heat load, which is expected to change if we have a park system. But we don't need to find the outliers in terms of human-generated heat load, because that's not directly related to the park system idea. Okay. Now, once we determine the outliers, so these are basically places which are supposed to be much more hot, but not. Then we present these to the user, and the user examines these satellite images to see what may be the reason for these places, which are similar to their own area of interest, let's say Tunis in this case, and tries to discover the reason. If the reason is a park system, then there you go. The user have an evidence that a park system actually, there are examples of park systems where temperature is way better than expected, way cooler. Or maybe the user discovers another idea there, like, as I said, a lake in the city, some kind of park, lake park. Then, of course, depending on the initiative of the user, maybe he or she changes his proposal, or tries to search another place, tries to examine the other natural occurrences from those provided by UDENE. So this is the research and innovation project we have been working on since 1 year and a half, and we have all these parts implemented as open source and available as alpha version at the moment. But by the end of summer, we will have them all stable in beta versions, so that the winners of these open calls will be able to use them for their own feasibility studies or educational plans. Okay. That's it for my presentation. I don't know if I have kept the time right, but thank you for paying attention to this project. And now I will hand it over to Maya.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Ali, so much. I will take over for now. Good sound. I hope you can all see my screen. Tell me if you don't. And you can hear me. So before I go to the overview of open calls, please, there is a Q&A section of this webinar. If you have any questions, please put them in. So even if we go a little bit over with time, because we are recording this webinar for showing afterwards, and it's going to be available on our YouTube, we would like to give as much information as possible. So please put your questions in the Q&A section. All the questions will be answered, maybe on this webinar, and if not live in this webinar, they're going to be compiled into the frequently asked questions and then shown on UDENE website page for open calls and technical support. So my purpose here, I'm Maja Stramački. I'm coming from Innocence company, small SME from Serbia, and I will go over the open calls to orientate you more about what is the purpose, what is the scope, what we expect from them, what are the guidelines, where are they, and everything that is there. If something is unclear, please also put it in a Q&A section, and we will try to answer for you. If not, as I said, live now, then after the webinar is over. So first, the timeline. We have 2 open calls that are both live now. So first one started in 18th of June, was open on 18th of June. It was launched, and then on 1st of July, we launched the second one. They differ a bit, but the process is actually the same. So the deadline for the first one is going to be on 16th of August. And then by the end of August, we are trying to do the evaluation and winner selection. By the 15th of September to do the contracting and contract signing, and then implementation of the project will start in October and in November, which is kind of similar for Open Call 2. But because it started in July, 1st of July, it will be the deadline for submission is 29th of August. By the mid-September, we will try to have evaluation and winner selection, and by the end of September, contracting signing, so we can have both open calls be developed in October and November. These, as we state here, these dates can change slightly depending on the things that we cannot predict, which can happen throughout the evaluation and contracting processes. So what is my job here? After my presentation, I will leave all of these links that you see in the presentation in the chat, so you can access them immediately. But mostly everything is on the UDENE website on the open call webpage. So the first open call, here you have, it's about UDENE tools integrated geodata science education. Proposal submission and application, it's form, it's a MS form, and it's accessible right now with the credentials provided here. And open call number 2, UDENE tools for global business solutions that accelerate Copernicus implementation, also have their form, and with these credentials you can access them. You can go after the webinar, you can go and see for yourself, but through this presentation I will show you the outline of the form so you can have it before the end of this webinar. So what is the orientation also? This webinar is the first one as organized, and we spotlight use case from Serbia, and we spotlight the Serbian registrants, but also you can register for Tunisia one, Turkish one, which the dates are stated here, and you can register immediately. And for Open Call 2, we are organizing info sessions because they're in August, and it's kind of tricky for people to participate. This is why we are recording this, and it's going to be accessible on our YouTube channel. And if you are not able to participate, it would be great if you can register so you can get the information immediately. But everything you are going to be able to find on our YouTube channel, and we will provide the registration links for sessions pretty soon for the Open Call 2. Also accessible by our webpage. This part is showing you the part of our webpage where you can see all the documentation that you will need to be provided for you to explain to you the process of application, the guide for our tools, and then all the documents that you will need to fill out and provide during your application. So Annex 1 is Open Call Fichier, is something that is explaining both calls that I'm going to give you an overview now and a few snippets, but there is the whole document that you can read through and see what applies to you and explain to you what is the purpose and how you can proceed with your application. Also, when you can download this document, go through it, and then if you have any questions, even after this webinar, you can always contact us and send your questions, and all the questions will be compiled into the frequently asked questions and our answers that will be updated after we get every question. So anybody that has a question, their question is going to be incorporated into this document that is going to show on our page, and you can download it and see if somebody already asked the question and you will get the answer from it. The next is Annex 2, Guide for Applicants, which is actually our tool guide. The thing that you're going to see after my presentation is going to be shown to you. So exploration tool and matchmaking tool of UDENE is going to be shown to you as a demo, but also you have a guide on what are the possibilities and what are in detail shown, what are the possibilities in the tools and how you can use them, and to give you also an outline of the tool, because the tool is not yet accessible to everybody, but is going to be accessible to winners. So we are preparing the winners through this guide and these demo sessions to prepare their application. And after that, you have Annex 3, which is Declaration of Honor, which is something that every applicant should sign and provide. Ethics, intellectual property, and security declaration also. And then we have only for small and medium enterprises, their financial stability document. For other applicants, it's not necessary. And then Annex 6 is model sub-grantee agreement. This is just the model of a sub-grantee agreement. So you can go over it, what we expect, but it's going to be through the sub-granting process. It's going to be modeled to the different, because we have different countries here that can apply. It's going to be modeled to every application. Next, the part is about explaining to you what are the funding of options. I'm going to go into that a little bit later. What are the technologies, technical support. You can always contact us. As I said, after my presentation, I will provide all the links for this in the chat, so you can access it immediately. And then we provided videos and presentation tutorials for exploration tool and use case experimentation, which are accessible through website, this one single page. So I'm talking only on one page now, and on the UDENE YouTube channel. So you can see the tutorials on how you can use the UDENE tools. How to apply, on where to apply. So open call 1, as we said, UDENE tools integration, geodata science education. I will go into every call a little bit deeper, just in a few slides. The submission deadline, as I already said, is 16th August, 9 p.m. Brussels time. So everything after 9 p.m. Brussels time, 16th of August, will not be eligible for evaluation. Here you can access the form, and here are the IDs or credentials with which you can access the form. The next one is open call 2, UDENE tools for global business solutions that accelerate technical adaptation. Also, you can access the form. This is on the end of the web page that you can access afterwards. And the submission deadline is 29th of August, 9 p.m. Brussels time also. Now I'm going to go through the application form that I showed you right now. So you can orient yourself and see what we expect from you in this application form. I showed you the doc. I didn't share you the documents. You can see the documents that are on the web page, but this is probably for now the most important part, so you know what to expect from application form and how lengthy it is or how detailed it is, what you can do with it. So first, this is the first page where we explain to you, this is just for the first one, but the second one is similar. So what do we expect from you? The stage 1 is eligibility and feasibility. We expect from you to provide us with the type of applicant, what is the target country, Serbia, Turkey, or Tunisia, contact person, entity, phone number, email, and other person contacts. Then the second stage, the second page, is what will you do? Each section allows 4,000 characters. You need to provide the concept, progressive, and feasibility of the proposed course and their learning outcomes, the design of the curriculum, including prototype, syllabus, etc. Impact, so economic and social impact, environment, European dimension, cross-sector. So this is something that helps you provide the more information about the sections the impact that your project is going to provide. Then relevant expertise, what is your relevant expertise for this open call? And in the end, upload the work plan with task descriptions, which is going to be a single Excel file document size 10 MB maximum. And on the right, you can see the picture of the last page, where you upload the documents that you can download from our page. So Annex 3, Annex 4, Annex 5, that is going to be necessary for you to upload before finishing the application form. So what are the general propositions for our calls? We're going to have 2 calls, as I already showed you. So we have 2 calls, open calls. At each open call, we're going to have 6 winners. It's going to be 2 winners per country, Serbia, Turkey, and Tunisia. For a total sum for each open call is 60,000 euros. So 10,000 euros per winner. So 10,000 euros per winner per open call is going to be the sum. And then what is going to be the provided financial support, a lump sum upon completion of the work. The work will going to need at least 2 person months of work in October and November for applicants, and you can see the UDENE practical guidelines of the tools in the website, as I already stated. Final report delivery for both open calls is 15 December. So when you finish the work, until you have time until 15th of December to provide us with the final report. Online single applications are eligible, no consortia, and application is, as I already showed you, is in MS Forms, and it's, let's say, up to 4 pages of text. So what is also important for you to know? If the sub-grantees are now the applicants and winners introduce new sets of data to be used, then they will report the data, its use, behavior of the tools, and relation to learning outcomes for OC1 or business outcomes for OC2 on Open Call 1 and Open Call 2. The identified European Earth observation product and services providers are expected to join voluntarily. In the case of delivering an innovative solution, the provider will also deliver a white paper and user guide describing the intended usage of the solution and its purpose. So, Open Call 1. What is the purpose? This is everything that I'm talking to you about now is in Open Call Fichier, where you can see in detail these things. So the purpose is to extend the skilled practitioners of geoscience in Copernicus internal partners countries by using UDENE open source tools. Expected outcome is the grant receivers are expected to deliver an educational plan, so curriculum design for geodata science as an applied discipline, educational models or course content, demonstrative case studies, and educational skills development course on the vocational geodata science enabled by Copernicus system and UDENE tools. That is what we expect to get through this open call. So learning outcomes, what are the acquired skills and competences, curriculum, about 3 ECTS credits, so 75 to 90 hours of work, competence development assignments, and demonstrative case studies, as we said. This is the task description for the Open Call 1. For Open Call 2, it's more a business solution oriented. So what is the purpose? To stimulate international business collaboration by integrating UDENE tools into market-driven solutions. Expected outcome is the grant recipients are expected to deliver a feasibility report that provides evidence for the feasibility arguments that have about this business case they have submitted. So market-ready business-oriented solutions, feasibility study, and business case. Output that we expect is feasibility report that describes the implementation of business cases enabled by the Copernicus system as used in UDENE tools. So a complete feasibility report should include detailed business case, partnership documentation, pilot projects, and market entry and sustainability plan. What is the open call application evaluation procedure? So now I'm talking to you about when you apply, when you submit all the documentation, what you can expect. So open call application is submitted. Then we have eligibility check, which is the first stage of your application. Are you eligible or are you not eligible to actually receive the funding? If no, then you receive process information documents. Process information documents are rejection letter, acceptance letter, proposal evaluation sheet, and or consensus evaluation report if we get to that. So if you are not eligible, you will get the explanation rejection letter and explanation why you are not eligible. Then if you are eligible, yes, we go to external remote evaluation. So this is where the external evaluators evaluate your application and send us the proposal evaluation sheet. So if you do not pass, go no, you get the process information document, the rejection letter with the explanation why you are rejected. If you pass, then yes. So if the evaluation is good and you are passing this evaluation, you get scored, and then we announce the results in accordance with that scores. If there is a situation where we have two or more applications that have the same score, then we have set up the system on how we're going to resolve this. This is going to be resolved through the set algorithm. If this doesn't help, then we're going to coordinate it in the consensus evaluation and ranking. So we're going to call upon the teams and talk to them about and get from them clarifications on some points that are going to probably provide us with the decision of who is going to win, who is going to be better scored in each section. So after that, we also have results announcement and contracting, and we announce the winners. After that, also you get the process information documents, acceptance letter, and then we promote you and you can start your work. So evaluation process in two stages. The screening procedure for eligibility check, as I already said. So SMEs, startups, NGOs, local authorities, associations, education training organizations, research institutions, individuals and teams of individuals are all eligible based in one of the target countries, so Serbia, Turkey, and Tunisia, and as defined in Horizon Europe rules for participation can be applicants for this goal, for both of these goals. And the stage two is the quality assessment procedure, concept of contemporarity, impact, and applicant expertise, which is what is going to be evaluated by our external evaluators. These are the links, all the links you're going to need to access the information I'm talking about now. And this is what I'm going to share through the chat immediately when I finish the presentation. So you can go immediately to those or send them in a highlighted form. So yeah, that is all from me now. And after this, thank you for listening. And I'm going to pass my talking. We'll go to the, I think it's top for a demo session.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Hüseyin from Toby University. Currently, I'm a new graduated artificial intelligence engineer, and I'm providing solutions for UDENE as AI architectures. And today, I will give you some demonstrations of UDENE Exploration Tool. Let's start on that. We have some login and registration pages at first. Here you can register, and with verifying your email, you can get access to our exploration tool. And after that, you can directly log into our exploration tool. When you first log in, you see our datasets tab currently we have 3 tabs for our tool. First one is datasets tab, and in second we run the experiments, and in last one we show the use cases, descriptions, and their details. So let's start with the datasets tab. In here you see we have 2 datasets. One is coming from global providers, and one is coming from Institute datasets we have in our data cube that's running in our AWS server. And here you can see and try to see some results with different bands, different indexes coming from different satellites. You can make some explorations here for data after running some experiments, and get some insights about the results of the experiments here. The main idea here for now is that. And in our Insto datasets part, you can see the data we have in our data cube. For example, here when you click here and try to see some different indexes, you can see here, let me switch to here. For example, that's, I guess, I'm not sure why that can't load, but okay, it's coming. I guess it's about my computer, and you can play with the data and see actually get some insights about data. And then we have some upload section here, and in the near future you will get some documentations from here to upload your own data. So let's move to experiment step. Here we have a general map view, and in the left side we have some parts to describe your idea and running experiments part. Here you see we have 2 tabs here. One is automatic and one is manual. When we switch to manual, you see there is lots of input fields here, and actually when you describe your idea, we can gather some info from your ideas. And currently in automatic part, we get the insights and information from your idea, and using some large language models, we run the models automatically. We select which models and which data will run in background, and we handle that part automatically. But if you want to see the things with manually and change with in your knowledge, we also let you to do that. And if you just want to see the results and you don't have that much insights about tools and here inputs and indices, etc., you can directly use the automatic part. Here maybe we can run something to see what happens. I will come to dashboard after, but I will here run an experiment. You see here, maybe we can that part. I say I want to build here a building system. What happens when an earthquake occurs in that place? Can you find similar places? When I ask that, the system goes and sees which use cases and models it have. For here, for our Turkey use case, we have NIC systems earthquake data models, and in there, model selects that one and goes to data cube and fetches the data for that earthquake scenario. And based on the ground inputs and ground features and building features, it just tries to find based on the distance to magnitude of the earthquake and etc. It fetches the similar places for as inputs, and after that part, let's run the experiment. After that part, we will see the similar places, but it contains different outputs. So with that, we can see what happens if we build something here, or what they did in before, what they did some places like that. So we can see that. For example, when we run that, we gather that much of locations from global. For now, we have actually about 20 stills data for earthquake. We actually Nix systems run their models for different magnitude of earthquakes, and with distances, etc., we created the models from that, and with that models we run the similarity experiments. And for example, let's see, you remember it was a green land and there was nothing here. For example, when we come here for Catania, we see somewhere it has some buildings, and we can see the outputs and see what happens when we do that. And for example, let's see, for example, here, for example, we can gather some results from same city, and we can see actually more maybe robust things. For example, it was a green place, and we see here we can build some buildings that is not too much high. And in, for example, 2 floors or 3 floors, we can build something like that. And we can see actually what happens after that building is built there, and we can gather some info, and then we can do the work for selected place with that info. So the main idea is you to gather the insights with the similar places, actually similar for inputs, but outlier for outputs. So they are different for, they are far a little bit for outputs. So you can gather the different ideas from different places. So then you can actually build your own idea based on that research. So you will be able to do some actual exploration, the main idea of the tool. So for example, let's run another experiment. For example, let me, for example, if you select something like that, that's, for example, it's Istanbul, and I will select somewhere like that. For example, I want to build here a park, for example. When I give that prompt and run that experiment, again, it will switch the model. Then it will switch the use case for Tunisia, and that model is Serbian, actually not Serbian, surface urban height islands detection. And with that, when we do that, we see the different actually again places. Let me see, do we have anything else? No. You can see, for example, in Istanbul, different places, for example, like some green spaces, and you can actually, you will gather the information for now for that model based on the index values like NDVI, NDWI, and BI like features. They are similar in inputs, but their hits are reduced for that use case. For example, when we say that, GPT actually decides to play with which inputs to catch that inputs for that place. For example, when I say, so I want to build here a linked park system, GPT decides to, I will reduce the for example, vegetation index. Actually, I will increase the vegetation index and decrease the building index, and maybe I will add some water indexes, something like that. So with that changes in the input, with the place like I selected here, it runs the models, and then we see the results as for here, like the places that can be the output of my place. So actually, you will learn about that details in the use case descriptions after my demo. So then here actually you can play with the manual things. Let me show you. For example, for the same thing, you can actually, you need to actually at the first go to the institute data and see which data is coming for actually your area of interest should be contained in the data set, and then you should select the indices, etc. Inputs, indices, outcomes, and you should select some model. And for outlier, you should select how much you want to for similarity for that place as some outputs. And for perturbation, you will select how much you want to change that inputs. It works like that. And then again, if you run that, you will get some results. It's cached, so it's why that's fast. Probably if you run that, it will take some time. For example, for that use case, I guess we have some occurrences in San Francisco, because San Francisco has some actually similar weather features like Istanbul. They have similar climate features. So you can see what happens, actually what they do for like that part. It first worked like that. And let me go to the dashboard. Here you can see your old experiments, and here you can see your experiment history, and you can directly load the experiment, change something, run again, and you can play with that. And lastly, in our use cases area, we see our use cases, and here you can get the descriptions, etc., get more detailed things. And currently we don't have, but maybe in the future we can have here the some like that output experiment, or some more detailed info, maybe data download. You can have here, and you can sort like that the topics of the use cases. And my actually the demo is like that. Actually, if you have some questions, you can ask in the end of our session. And thanks for listening to me.
Okay, thank you, Hussein. So questions, please, in the Q&A section if you have them. Now, the next one is going to be a short presentation from Tunsa. Is that okay? Of the use case, please, 5 minutes, as we already said.
Thank you, Maya. Could you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. Yeah. Hello, I'm Mohamed Rajhi. So I will present the Tunisia use case. It's about the effect of the linked park system on the heat load. It's a theoretical introduction. So this presentation is divided into 5 sections. We will present the use case introduction, the study area, input, predictors and outcome variables, methodology, and results. Our use case explores how a linked park system can reduce the urban heat load, particularly by addressing the urban heat island effects, where cities get much hotter than surrounding rural area due to dense infrastructure and lack green areas. The approach including 2 key actions: creation and enhancement of the linked park system to mitigate the urban heat island, and the strategic design and expansion of the green spaces, parks, and urban forests. So our study area is located in Greater Tunis, and it's positioned in the northern Tunisia, bordering the Mediterranean Sea. The study area, the Greater Tunis, including 4 municipalities: Tunis, Ariana, Lamanouba, and Benarous. This slide presents the key characteristics of a study area. The study area covers approximately 256,000 hectares with about 2.6 million residents in the greater Tunis. And it's highly urbanized with dense residential, commercial, industrial, and institutional areas. The geographical present diverse land cover from wetlands to urban green spaces, lakes, build-up, airport, and our temporal scope is seasonal change in 2023. So now we have the input predictors and the outcome variables. This diagram shows the workflow we used for the surface urban heat island prediction. We start with with two key inputs or parameters. It's the global Earth observation datasets and production and the in situ datasets. We used the spectral indices from the annual geocomposite of analysis-ready data by Digital Earth Africa Data Cube, urban green spaces from Google Earth Engine using Sentinel-2 images, global human settlement layer by Copernicus, land cover by ESA, and local climate zones by WeAdapt. From that datasets, we generated the low land surface temperature maps, the local climate zone, and the urban green spaces. The datasets are fed into our surface urban heat island prediction model, which is at the core of our processing steps. We used the random forest regressor at prediction as prediction model of our datasets. Then from the used model, we generated two main outcomes, is the surface urban heat island real maps and the surface urban heat island simulations. Here are the results. The surface urban heat island real maps shows the most intense observation heat load or heat island in the month of July and October, where the surface urban heat island simulation, the left side maps is the actual feature without with the real data, but the left one we increased the green area intense, and we can see that by increasing the green areas, the urban heat island reduced. That's all from my side, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mohammed. Next system. Okay, you can take over.
Do you see my screen? Do you see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone, I am Seda from Next System. Today I will present determination of high-rise district effect in the context of earthquake preparedness. The purpose of this use case is to support evidence-based land use planning by assessing building damage and economic loss resulting from high-rise urbanization in region prone to earthquakes of magnitude greater than 7. Our approach highlights the critical transition from hazard to risks, emphasizing the role of urban planning, structural resilience, and modernized design scope in mitigation seismic consequences. In this slide, the hazard maps shows the expected level of ground shaking at the specific location due to future potential earthquakes. Human settlements are the living spaces for humans, and the risks, design scope, and standards mainly drive the earthquake risk labeled by the models. Our primary motivation of the Türkiye use case is the country's location in a region with high seismic risk. Türkiye is located on the orogenic seismic belt from the Himalayas to the Alps, and destructive earthquakes occur on this belt every 2 or 3 years on average. The use case has specifically concentrated on Istanbul because Istanbul, the country's largest metropolis, is home to about 1/7 of Turkey's population, and half of its industrial potential lies in the west segments of the active North Anatolian fault line. In our study, we would also like to talk about the importance of being prepared for an earthquake. Preparedness directly influences resilience and reveals your risk level. Therefore, disaster management and preparedness play a critical role in earthquake. Knowing the seismotectonic characteristic of the region and the location and structural status of the buildings increases the level of preparedness, which directly affects the loss reduction capacity. In this context, the possible effects of high-rise buildings were examined in the study. In our scenario-based earthquake study, our implementation methodology is divided into three as hazard assessment, loss assessment, and urban development assessment. In the seismic hazard model, an earthquake scenario was created using the Bohr and Atkinson model. In the building damage assessment conducted within the scope of loss assessment, the Risk European Union taxonomy is used to building database. Finally, in the urban geometry analysis, building layout and street width, the height ratios are specially analyzed to evaluate secondary risks. Considering the high density and irregular configuration of the high-rise buildings, was selected for detailed analysis in the use case study. As you look at this and the history of Novi, there is probably a quake killing thousands of people and collapsing as many as 60,000 buildings because of vulnerable construction. On this page, you can view the outputs from our use case study, including examples from the Marmara region and the Fikirtepe area. For the Marmara region, we can say that older buildings have notably higher damage rates, especially at D3 and D4 levels. This is likely due to inadequate structural design for seismic resistance and poor construction quality. You can see the Fikirtepe study results on the right. Post-1980 RC buildings show significantly lower damages due to better design codes, but the high-rise factor might still pose latent risks, especially if non-ductile detailing or some irregular story effects exist. In summary, the urban development concept of Turkey use case experiment focus on the high-rise district effect on earthquake preparedness as input, magnitude, earthquake center, focal depth, fault data, shear wave velocity, and building information was utilized, and as output, intensity distribution, graphics, building damage, and economic loss information was generated. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Seda. Okay, we are a little bit late, but we anticipated that it's going to be, because it's the first one and everybody wants to show as much detail as possible. Please, now we give floor to our spotlighted use case for this webinar, to a BioSense use case. Nicola, you can take over.
Yes, thank you, Maya. Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Nikola Obrenovic. I'm a senior researcher at the BioSense Institute in Novi Sad. Now, to prevent any unpredicted circumstances, we actually filmed our presentation, and I will share it. And please let me know if there are any problems in viewing it, so then we can do something else. Just give me a second. So enjoy.
We don't hear the sound, Nicola.
Excuse me?
We don't hear the sound.
Okay, let me reshare it, please. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thus far, we have heard about the UDENE consortium and project goals, and now we will focus more on the use case implemented in Novi Sad, Serbia, which is dealing with the sustainable urban development and the assessment of the impact of transport infrastructure changes to the environment. This use case has been developed by the BioSense Institute, a research and development institute for IT solutions and digital transformation in agriculture and biosystems. We are very proud that the European Commission has declared us to be a scientific lighthouse of the region. Recently, our work is expanding more and more towards the sustainable urban and rural development. We combine various technologies like remote sensing, big data, machine learning, and AI with the domain knowledge from agriculture and ecology to create solutions which will allow farmers and experts to increase their productivity with a special care and attention to the sustainability, meaning using less chemicals but obtaining higher yields. Our team is composed of the senior and junior researchers under the guidance and supervision of our top management. The leading members for the BioSense team on UDENE project are Dr. Nikola Obrenovic and Branislav Beck. So let's focus on the use case itself now. We have the city of Novi Sad with approximately 400,000 inhabitants. However, the main characteristic of the city is that it grew more than twice in the last 25 years. This rapid growth caused, of course, issues in the transportation network and the transportation systems, having more and more jams every day. To address these challenges, the city is currently conducting one project and another one has in plans. The former is about building a sudden bypass around the city to actually bypass the heavy traffic coming from the west and going towards the east and south. The second project which is planned is about preserving the historical core of Novi Sad, the Protoradin fortress and its surroundings. However, both projects will cause major disruptions and changes in the transportation flows, and our project is about to assess those changes and their influence towards the air pollutants and environment in general. To achieve our goals, we are combining various heterogeneous data sources with the data which represents the traffic network and the transportation system behavior, as well as the meteorological and environment data coming both from the in situ measurements as well as the satellites. And one of the main novelties of our approach is actually utilizing the traffic potential data which was provided by Professor Marina Carevic-Tomic from the Faculty of Technical Sciences here in Novi Sad. Now, this data originates from the space syntax analysis, and instead of having real-time meter data on the traffic, which can be expensive to obtain, we can use this easier to obtain data and estimate the air pollution. In our project, we approached the estimation of air pollution in two ways: macroscopic, by developing regression models, and microscopic, which is related to the agent-based models. Both approaches will be described in details next. The regression models were built on the traffic potential data coming from the space syntax analysis, meteorological data coming from the ERA 5 dataset, and in situ traffic measurements coming from the city of Novi Sad. The air quality measurements from the Serbian Agency for Environmental Protection were used as the target outputs. Here we built two different models, ones with using the in situ traffic data and the other ones without using those data. We experimented by aggregation of the data on daily, weekly, and monthly values, where we also differentiated the weekdays and weekends as separate day types, because the traffic behavior usually differs on those days. From the base models, we used various regression models as well as decision trees and random forests. All models were trained by using grid search for hyperparameter tuning. We also applied 3- and 5-fold cross-validation to obtain the best fit. We did not observe only one quality metric, but several of them, such as mean absolute value, mean squared value, R squared, adjusted R squared, and so forth. At the end, the random forest regressor showed applied on the daily values showed to be the best fit. An extensive analysis has been conducted on the redundancy of the input parameters. Our goal was to reach the model which requires only the minimum parameters which have to be applied. Furthermore, the sensitivity analysis, both globally and locally, has been applied to the created models to determine which features best describe the output results. For the global analysis, we applied permutation feature importance, while for the local analysis, Shapley additive explanations was utilized to determine significant input features. This model-agnostic method has proven to be a very powerful tool for describing the model structure and design. As mentioned earlier, we have also created a microscopic traffic simulation by utilizing agent-based modeling. The power of such approach is its capability to represent and model the unit elements of the transportation system, that is its participants with their characteristics. With that, we can model and estimate the emissions at the street segment level. Although the agent-based models are a very powerful tool, their major disadvantage is the data. They require a large amount of data and very specific and detailed one. First of all, we need to have the data about the population of the urban area, the participants of our transportation system. Since in many cases, just like in the case of Novi Sad, this data is not available because the surveys are very limited or even non-existing. We have to synthesize and extrapolate such data. This is the first step of data preparation for employing agent-based modeling, is the generation of the synthetic population. Once the population is synthesized, we need to create the households to know where the people live, from where they commute to their work or to leisure activities. In our approach, we went one step further by integrating the population and households generation into a single step. By simultaneously creating the transport system participants and integrating them into the households, we obtained the best results and the most realistic representation of the real system. The final and maybe the most challenging step is to create the activities of our elements of the transportation system. Namely, this describes when a person is getting up, going to work, coming back from work, and which additional facilities it is visiting to while going to work or returning back, like leisures, shopping malls, grocery stores, picking up the kids from the kindergarten, etc. Basically, the generated activity schedules represent the behavior of the elements of the transportation network and create requirements towards it. Therefore, it is of utmost importance that we create data which represent the real life picture, and we are happy to have obtained very good and high quality results. Finally, to run agent-based traffic simulations, we also need to prepare and create transportation network data with the details even such as traffic signalization. Our microsimulator has been implemented in the form of a Docker container, which allows it to be reutilized also within different tools and decision support systems. The microsimulation results can be very nicely and precisely visualized to show how the citizens of the observed area behave in traffic. Although these visualization tools are not part of the developed exploration tools, we will be very happy to provide all necessary information on how you can visualize them. Thank you kindly for your attention. Please do not hesitate to contact us with any kind of questions or suggestions. And now I give the floor to my colleague Christina Weide, who will present and demonstrate the tool itself and the usage of the mentioned models. Thank you. Okay, this was the first part about the theoretical aspects and the goals of our use case. And now I will play the second video, which showed us the usage of the models in action. Again, please let me know if you don't hear the sound.
Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'll walk you through how to use the UDENE platform from logging in to exploring features like city search, air pollution prediction and traffic simulation for Novi Sad. As you can see, this is the login screen. To access the platform, simply enter your email and password. And if you don't have an account yet, you can click on the register, which looks like this, and follow the steps to create one. I'll go ahead and log into the platform. After successfully logging in, you're taken to the main dashboard. From here, you can access datasets, experiments, and use cases scenarios. Next, I'll navigate to use cases section. Now that we are at the use cases page, you'll notice that there are 3 use cases available. For this demo, I'll focus on the one related to Novi Sad. Here you can see description and also two buttons. The first one is Explore, which opens a new page with interactive features and tools related to this use case. And the second one is Download button. When you click on it, it downloads the research paper associated with this project. By clicking on Explore, new page opens where you can search for cities by latitude and population. First, you can enter minimum and maximum values for both latitude and population, and then click Search. As you can see, matching cities will appear below the form and will also be pinned on the interactive map on the right. Also, you can see that cities are grouped into 3 categories based on the elevation similarity. Now we can change some values to see what happens next. Now that we changed input values, we can see which cities fall into this new range and how they are grouped based on the elevation similarity. Next part is related to the air pollution prediction model for Novi Sad. There are 2 models available, one that includes traffic input parameters and one without them. First, you need to choose which model do you want to use. After choosing the model, you can input various parameters such as accessibility, connectivity, wind components, and more. For the purpose of this demo, I'll enter some sample values just to show how the prediction works. After inputting all these values, you can click on the button Predict. Once submitted, the system provides an estimate of the predict pollution level based on your inputs. As you can see, the prediction levels are shown below. Now I'm going to switch to the other model and enter the necessary input parameters to show how the prediction changes. Let's now move to the last part. It's Matsim-based simulation model for Novi Sad. Here you have 3 simulation scenarios available. You can choose between baseline, pedestrian zone, and bridges. After selecting a scenario and clicking Start Simulation, the system runs the simulation. For this demo, I'm going to run the simulation using the first scenario, the baseline. The simulation takes a few minutes to finish, and once completed, results can be downloaded for the analysis. And this is what the simulation output looks like. Thank you for watching.
Okay, and not to frighten the people with this large number of files which are produced by the agent-based model simulation. I will also show how this can be quite effectively visualized because that's at the end what we want to achieve. However, such visualizations, as I said, due to some commercial restrictions and legal restrictions, we cannot at this point include them in the exploration tool, but we can show show you how to use it, actually how to employ it, and this is how it can look at the end. Oops, sorry, not that one. This one. So this is how the results of the math simulation can actually be visualized, and there are also a lot more options. This is just one of the mainly used ones. So thank you for your attention for this part, and I give back the floor to Maya, I guess, and we can start with the Q&As. We'll be happy to answer all your questions. Also now during this session or anytime later.
Okay, thank you, Nico. Thank you all. This is all from us. We actually, yeah, we are late, but not that much as we thought we're going to be. But I hope we provided enough information for you to orient yourselves. And then, as we already said, Q&A section, if you have any questions, but as I see in the Q&A, we do not have any questions. But I want to prompt you now, if you have any, please type them in, and we will answer them via our website. So we are not going to prolong this any more than 10 minutes. And if you, after you orient yourself and look through all the documents and application forms, of course, tutorials and all these videos that we are providing through different UDENE channels, you can always send us a message through the UDENE website, as I showed you in a chat, and then your questions will be answered via the UDENE website for everybody to see the answers, so they can use the answers too, if maybe they have the same question as you do. So I will give you space to write your questions in the Q&A section if you have any, like 5 minutes, and then if after 5 minutes you do not have any questions for now, we can finish this webinar. But if you think over and you have any questions for us by tomorrow, we will have this webinar tomorrow again for Tunis use case, and Tunis use case will be spotlighted like the Serbian was one today. The rest of the framework and agenda will be the same. So you don't have to join for the whole webinar, but you can join to see in detail Tunis use case. And if you have any questions, you can also register and ask them tomorrow or on the Turkey webinar, which is going to be a little bit later on 28th of July. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe I can ask you a question. How about that? Okay.
But why? But okay.
Okay, so well, this open call is about developing a syllabus and a lesson plan for having more people have skills to use Earth observation technology, geodata science, and obviously there should be some target learner base like high school students, university students, or I don't know, adult training, and we will provide the UDENE tools, the existing data cube with its data, and the models we have at the moment. So if I consider myself like I'm a Serbian academic who would like to have a master's course on Earth observation, and I want this opportunity to develop this in those 2 months, October, November, my syllabus and lesson plan. So obviously I have to submit to my university, but it would be a very strong position if I have a grant from European Union like this open call and already services supported by European Union. So I will use, let's say, the Serbian case, the models there, the algorithms, the visualization techniques in my course so as to attract more students. Earth observation sounds like a colorful topic, but when you go to produce anything with this technology, it's a lot of terminology, many cryptic names for data and everything. Obviously, these use cases make life simpler for me. Now, my question is, will I be able to work closely with BioSense Institute, which is obviously a well-known institute in the region? Will I be able to work with BioSense Institute as part of my lesson planning? Can I collaborate with the researchers there? Is this open call mean that I have access to BioSense Institute? Nicola, maybe you can say.
Maybe I can jump in. So basically, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. BioSense Institute is already delivering at least 10 courses on various faculties at the University of Novi Sad and the University of Belgrade, maybe even the University of Banja Luka in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So yes, we are open to such collaboration. We deliver lectures or we give support in curriculum creation or even for the course creation. So yeah, all of that is actually very favorable for us. And I also
This is also going to be provided through support throughout the UDENE project while the project is running. So every use case partners is available for support if it's in their wheelhouse, all the partners from UDENE project, but also when the project is finished, the website is going to still be functional, and we are going to prepare our sustainability plans, which are going to incorporate these possibilities for our, because courses are something that it's living after the business cases also. So we are expecting outcomes that are going to live after the UDENE project is done. So we are going to have to incorporate these activities and our partners into this something like this, and also this provides the let's say a platform for maybe a new project.
All right, thank you.
Okay, because we left our participants enough time for questions. We didn't receive any. We hope we provided enough information for you. As we said, we're going to be absolutely available for any questions further. And if you want to join in for any other sessions, you are more than welcome to. I would like to conclude this webinar. If anybody of the other partners has anything else to add, I'll ask you to, in a few minutes, to finish this webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.